I think we all dream of getting away for a few weeks at a time, especially here in PEI when it's cold and damp, the snow starts melting, and the entire island turns into a giant red mud pit. Hi, everyone. I'm Frances. I'm a trusted travel advisor here with Stewart Travel Group, and I am absolutely obsessed with turning good trips into great ones. Welcome to Let's Talk Travel, live with Stewart Travel Group. These conversations are about discovering travel that fits you and creates memories you'll love. Tonight, I'm joined by David Boigné, and we're going to talk about the long stays in Europe, what it's really like, who it's best for, and a few things that people are often surprised by. As we go, if you have questions or thoughts, drop them in the comments either below on Facebook or to one side or the other here on YouTube. And you can provide those comments to us. We'll grab them as we go. And let's get started. Welcome, David.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Francis.
It's wonderful to have you all the way from Portugal, which is incredible because that's one of the destinations we're talking about tonight. And one of the things I like starting with is to get to know the people behind the brands that we're talking about, the people that are our partners in travel. And I think one of the really amazing things about this industry is the connections that we make. So putting you on the hot seat right to start. Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. What is the moment when you realized that travel was your thing?
I was 16 years old, and as a summer job, I worked in a tourism office in France, where I'm from. And I was actually selling tickets and advising tourists coming to our town because we had a salon like show. So I was doing this in the morning. In the afternoon, I was a tour guide at the chateau. And at night, I was an actor in the Sun and Light show. So that was 16 years old. That was my first job, and I knew that this was where my life, like tourism. That's where it started.
I had no idea you were an actor. A few episodes ago, I was talking to another one of our partners and found out he used to be an art teacher. So the things we find out on these live with Stewart Travel Group are amazing. So David, I know you travel like what 360 days a year, maybe out of the 365. I don't know, but what kind of travel do you get irrationally excited about?
What really excites me is people. I love to discover people because I think people are what are the most beautiful thing about a destination. Yes, sceneries are nice and food is great, but food is people as well. But I find that once you travel with that vision of understanding people, understanding culture, you get so much richer every trip,
Mm,
and I think that you enjoy life much more because you really understand that there's not one way of doing things, of one good thing in life, but everything is about perspective, it's about background, and it really helps you enjoy many things that you would have never even touched or looked at. So that's really what it's people. For me, it's everything's about people.
I love that. I love that. For me, I think that is where my best travel memories are from meeting people and destinations, which I really love. So, knowing that you travel all over this planet, that you're currently coming to us from Portugal, here we are in PEI. What are the last three places, or maybe your last three favorite places, or your three favorite places? But tell us about three places you've traveled just really quickly.
Last trip I was in Germany, in
Mhm.
Berlin. The one before, where were we? We went to the UK, and oh my God, there are so many I can think about it. But we've been to Morocco,
Yeah,
where I'm going again in 10 days. Yeah.
Morocco is amazing. It's one of my favorite destinations. I've been there a couple of times in the last year and absolutely love it. And you've been enticing me with Tunisia, which is absolutely on my list. So super excited about that. So tonight we're going to talk about long stays, and typically long stays are the ones that Canadians, especially from Eastern Canada, tend to do, are in Europe. And so we hear about the south of Portugal, and I happen actually, with your help, have 20 travelers there right now. They're exploring the Algarve, staying in Albufeira. I get restaurant reviews almost every night. I think last night or the night before, a group of them went to see a fado show.
Mhm.
So really, they're having a great experience. But what what is a long stay? Tell me what that when we talk long stay, that's like travel agent jargon. What does that mean?
Well, long stay is actually not related to length because you can go for 14 nights, you can go for 21, or you can go for 3 months. The
Hmm.
idea of a long stay is, to me, is to escape that awful winter that we have back home. I actually decided 3 weeks ago that I was firing winter for the rest of the year. So I'm not going to be back in Canada before March 29. So that's why I'm actually working from the Algarve at the moment.
Yeah,
And this is what it is. But it's even more about, it's more than just being smart and not having to deal with the snow and being in a much nicer climate. It's also taking yourself in a very comfortable environment and play. Like right now I'm playing Portuguese, right? So
mhm,
I wake up in the morning, it's sunny sky, I go for a little walk, I go to the market, talk to people. Every time we go and buy stuff at the supermarket, we're like, holy smoly, it's like a fraction of the price in Canada, so that makes you feel smart. Fresh products, so it's really like playing local,
yeah,
um, and having a really great time. I actually work from here. Doesn't make any difference, but there are a lot of people that are retired and that
hmm,
come here with, and you make friends because you have people from all over the world. So we spoke to some Dutch people, some British people. It's really great. So it's really immersing yourself in that local culture, and I find it way more nourishing, if I can use that word, than just doing a coach tour where you see places but you don't leave places. And
yeah,
we really feel part of the community. It's really, really great. To me,
yeah.
that's what it's all about. Yeah.
So really, it's about it's staying in one place for a length of time for 2, 3, 4 weeks, even longer if you want, and really just living there like a local is what we're talking about when we talk about long stays. And so I have so many questions, but first of all, where are we staying? Are we? I couldn't imagine being in a hotel room, like a studio hotel room, for 3 weeks. I think I would go bonkers. But what are the accommodations like for long stays?
Okay, so we do have very, very few people that want a hotel room with 2 meals a day, breakfast and dinner, but that's like a minority of them. So we have a plethora of different properties, whether it's a studio where you have like your bedroom, living room, little kitchenette, but we have a lot of one bedrooms, two bedrooms. So it's really like in a complex. So you have your receptions, you have some activities, you have swimming pool. We also have a local representative at destination that will offer tours that you can take or not. But it's also a good point of contact if anything goes wrong and you're sick or whatever. There's somebody local that know where you come from, knows your travel agent, knows that Steward Travel is in the background if there's anything needed. So that's really like a hotel complex, like a with apartments where you stay, as I said, 1, 2 bedrooms, and we have a vast range of properties, from the most affordable one to we have some very luxury properties.
Mhm.
So it's really up to you. But it's the idea is really to live as a local. So you have an apartment, studio, or one bedroom. That's really the idea.
That's amazing. What about things like um, the facilities? Is there a gym? What about laundry? What about swimming pools? Tell me about those kinds of facilities that we would find in these complexes.
So in most of these accommodation, you'll have your dishwasher, washer dryer within your apartments.
Oh wow, so it's like
Um,
coin operated in the basement or something.
no, it's home. You're living at home. It's really
Oh
your home for the time you're there. There are a very few, I would say, lower end, more economical properties where you would have to go outside of your apartments and they have facilities to do laundry. But most of them, you have your own. It's really like your home. It's your
yeah,
apartment. You live as a local. You go to the supermarket. You do your cooking. But there again, Francis, when you're in Portugal, you go to a restaurant and it costs a fraction of the price that you would pay in Canada. So it's really nice because you do your cooking, fresh products, fraction of the price, and every so often you go to a restaurant, have really nice food. So it's really a nice experience.
I'm constantly getting restaurant reviews from my group that is in Albufera right now. They are having a great time, and the great restaurants, are endless. And even when I was giving them a list of the great places to go, I couldn't keep it to 10 or 12. Like, the list was very long. So that's really exciting. So when you're in destinations, you get to wander around the little town. What else is there to do? What else do people do when they're in the south of Portugal?
So there's different type of excursion that they can do, but you can go cycling. There are a lot of water sports as well. Like you can go on a little cruise,
Hmm.
and you can easily rent a car as well and go all along the coast because the Algarve is fairly long, and
And
like
it's easy to
on
drive in Portugal.
it's very easy to drive. But even like on Sunday, we're gonna go to Spain, to Seville, because I want to see the. I haven't seen the Cathedral Mosque, that very famous place in Sevilla. So we're just gonna drive. It's barely 2 hours, so it's very easy. Remember, Europe is very
Compact.
compact in a way compared to and so we've met other people that have been here for 3 months,
Hmm.
and so that's their base. And every so often they jump on a plane and go spend the weekend in Budapest because the flight is like $80 return. They go for 2 days, so that it's also a really good base to go and expand your horizons within Europe.
And
So
get
but
tastes of
and
different
in
places.
Portugal, you take the train, you go to Lisbon. There's a lot of things to touring is part of your experience, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the coastal landscape of Portugal is incredible. What's the weather like? You said you were out and it was almost too hot today. It's, what is it, March
Yeah,
11th?
I didn't want to bring that up, but I did complain at one point that it was a bit too hot. So today we had a wonderful blue sky. It was very sunny. The air is cool, but going outside, like I'm just wearing like a polo, and it's very very comfortable. So it's very nice. We were also here 2 weeks ago before we went to Germany, and it was the same. We had like days at 23 degrees. Everybody's outside sipping a coffee on the terrace. Let's put it
Yeah,
this way: you're sitting on a terrace. That's the kind of weather.
that's incredible. And the south of Portugal is really known for golf, for beaches, those kinds of things as well. And I know you and I have talked about putting together some golf packages for,
Hmm.
a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, where you have access to golf courses or you're even staying right at a course. Can you tell me about a bit more about those?
Yeah, so actually, Portugal is one of the top destinations for golf vacation,
Hmm.
all along the coast, and due to the very clement weather as well, you can golf year round.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing that people do a lot is anything that has to do with meditation and yoga,
Oh, okay.
because you can meditate on a cliff, you can meditate in the countryside, so
Right.
it's also a very great destination. Pottery is a big thing here, so if you're into pottery, you can take classes, cooking classes. There's really a lot to do. If you love fishing, you can hop on a boat and go fishing. So yeah, there's really a lot to do here.
Excuse me, everybody. I have been sick for the last few days. Pardon me. Um, and so we've talked a lot about southern Portugal. Where else can you do long stays?
And that's the best, because once you've experienced Portugal as your first long stay, you either going to want to come back or you will want to do the same but somewhere else. So the neighborhood country, Spain, on the Costa del Sol, so southern Spain in Andalusia,
Yeah.
um, fantastic. It's the same idea. You have your one bedroom apartment, tons of excursions, whether it's Miras, Gibraltar. Even from there, you can hop on a ferry and go to Tangier in Morocco.
Such a great
So
city.
Spain, you go to Sevilla, Cordoba. There's
Yeah.
a lot that you can visit. That's a really great destination as well. But you also have Malta. Malta is a fantastic destination. English is the second official language.
So tell us
Um,
what Malta is, because I don't know if everyone knows.
Malta, it's that little tiny rock that is about 500 kilometers east of Tunisia,
Okay.
and about I would say mostly 700 kilometer east of Rome.
Okay.
So it's really in at the very top of northern Africa and southern part of Europe. It's a
Yeah.
very strategic position.
Yeah. And
And
that's why it was held by the Brits, right?
Exactly, and everybody went through
Yeah.
Malta. That's why the culture is such a melting pot, including the language of different influences. Malta is absolutely fantastic. It is the safest place that you will find,
Hmm.
because it's a they have three islands. One, there's nobody on it, and the main island, Malta, what are you going to do if you do anything bad? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to escape, right? So
Hmm. Hmm.
it's super safe, but it's also very lively. There's a lot of things going on in Malta. And everything if you take the bus, the local bus system, which is super easy to use, it costs absolutely nothing, and you go everywhere. Tons of activities. You can go to the neighborhood island of Camino, of Gozo. So Malta is definitely a good destination. Super easy to go to. So many flights from all of the different European hubs, whether
Yeah.
it's Frankfurt, Paris, London, name it. So that's honestly, it's a destination that people know less of, but it is 100% a satisfaction guarantee.
Hmm.
And then, if I could name two other places for long stays, I would say the French Riviera, so
Hmm.
the southern part of France, around Monaco, Cannes, Nice.
Hmm.
Very nice properties called Pierre et Vacances.
Hmm.
That's southern France is really interesting as well. Tons of excursions as well. And another one that most many people don't know too much
Yep.
about, and that would be, even from a price perspective, even lower than Portugal. It's Tunisia. We kind of talked about it before. Tunisia is a safe country, and you won't find any pricing like in Tunisia. And you don't even need to stay in an apartment in Tunisia, which is the difference. You can stay in a very large hotel room with 3 meals a day, excursions as many as you'd like, because the country is so rich, and it will cost you less than a one bedroom apartment in Portugal.
That
So
is
think
wild.
think of Tunisia if you want something different. And you could combine, you could do 2 weeks in Tunisia and 3 weeks in Malta. There's a 45 minutes flight between Tunis and Valletta.
Oh my God. There are so many options. One of
I know.
the things David's the one who's gotten me really excited about these long stays and about Tunisia and about Malta, to be honest. These are like talking to him every time I get super, super excited. And so what we've done is we've put together the package this year for Portugal, and for next year we have a beautiful package in the south of Spain. And so that is going to be launched really soon. We've got all of that space on hold. I think we've got, I don't even remember, 10 or 15 apartments tops. That's it. We want to get those into your hands so you can escape the winter, and the price is really, really good. I think the folks that were in that are in Portugal right now, they paid less than $2,300 per person for 3 weeks of accommodations, their transfers, at City Tour in Lisbon, 2 nights in Lisbon. It was really such a great value of a package. Spain is a little bit more. Malta can be in that range, but Tunisia is even less. So we will have more of those available. If anyone has any questions as we're going about these incredible long stays, please put them in the comments, either below on Facebook, or I'm going to say it this way, but it's probably that way on YouTube. Um, and there is a little chat function if you want to talk about that. So when we're thinking about long stays, David, what's something that might surprise people about these experiences?
Well, I think the price is most probably what's gonna surprise them the most. And I see a comment. You can definitely book them at whatever date you want. So we have these blocks that we have with Stewart Travel Group. But if these days don't work for you, we can make it at any date for any length.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to expand on the long stays because we're talking about
Yeah.
Europe. But there are other destinations that are popular, especially for people out west. And I don't know why, but it's just the way it is. But if you wanted to go for a long stay on the Gold Coast in Australia, they have these incredible apartments for rent, whether it's Surfers Paradise or Golden Coast.
Yeah.
Um,
The Gold
so
Coast.
that's a place. Long stays in Bali as well bring a very different flavor because Bali is Bali. So don't don't think that it's only Europe if Europe is not your thing. But the South Pacific and Bali are definitely
Yeah.
good
I think the
places as
value
well.
of these packages was really a shock to me when you brought them to my attention. And you've done such good work to help us find the really high quality properties that we can look at for folks. And I can't wait to hear how everyone in Portugal right now is doing, how they're enjoying the property they're at, and next year in Spain, or even back to Portugal for some people, they may want to do that. Um, so when people are booking these, it can be a bit overwhelming to think about getting there, finding the closest airport, getting their transfers. What's the best way to book these kinds of packages?
Well, I would say 100% go through your travel agent. And I've actually met a few people here that actually I eardropped and I overheard conversations where some people had booked some Airbnbs or booked through a friend of a friend, ended up paying 50% of the stay prior arriving, and went to an address that didn't exist, or went to a place that was supposed to be really nice, but that was actually not so nice.
Oh my
And
God.
then what do you do? There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do, right? So
Yeah.
I think booking through your travel agent really gives you that confidence that you're going to get to a place that is what it is. And if there's anything for some reason that's not right, you're going to have somebody that's going to make it right. It could happen that you get to your apartment and there was a water damage
Yeah.
that just happened and the property doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
We have people on the ground. You're going to let them know we're going to change apartment. If ever the property is fully booked, we're going to find you something else.
Yeah.
When you're on your own, you're on your own. That's the very definition of it. And I think when you look at the price point, why taking the risk to not book through a
Yeah.
travel advisor that knows the suppliers? And yeah, it's
Can piece all those things together. If there's a
yeah.
late train or a late flight, all of those things come together.
Well, actually, for this group, you texted me like 2 a.m. your time
Yeah.
because of bad weather. One flight was delayed, and I was God knows where, and we
Yeah.
actually made it work through the night. And people
Yeah.
showed up at a different day, different time. The driver was there. We booked a one
Yeah.
night hotel.
That's a
So
great example. Like
yeah,
so for those of you who are online watching, I had two couples who decided to change their flights because to go to this long stay in Portugal because of weather, and it was a really smart decision they made. But it was really close to departure, and we had transfer arrangements and pre-night hotels and all sorts of things that we had to repiece together. And simply through maybe 6 messages in WhatsApp between David and I, it was taken care of. And David works with his team on the ground. I work with my clients, and David and I work hand in hand And David's team, David, I can tell you, there are issues happen in travel, and every time that's something small has happened, you've been right there behind us, and it's an incredible to have a partner like you. Um, so when we're talking about this time of year in Portugal, we're talking about great weather. Are we talking about like sun tanning on the beach weather? We're not. We're talking about great.
Well, today people were sun tanning on the beach, but the day before,
Yeah.
yesterday and the day before yesterday, you wouldn't have lie down on the beach. To be
Right.
very frank, it was you had to have a little jacket, and it was a little cool, but it must have been like 12 degrees, 13 degrees. So it's comfortable, right? You can go out for a walk. You don't need your regular running shoes. It's a different life, right? You
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
no snow. Yeah.
And the landscape there, I mean, there's buses that run along the south shore of Portugal. We're back in Portugal, everybody, by the way. I just transported us back there since we've been all over the world in this conversation. There's buses that run along the coast. There's car rentals, right?
Uber.
Uber is available. Okay. So really easy to get around, really easy to get back and forth from Lisbon. There's an airport in Faro if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So it is really easy to move about, to do all of these things. Lots to do. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But I mean, I think for me, the surprise when I was introduced to these long stay packages was the value that comes with them. And I think you've done such an incredible job of showing me that and showing me the variety of options that are available. And so when clients reach out to me or to anyone on the Stewart Travel Group team, we know we have that variety of, 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, solo accommodations, double accommodations. You could have a 2-bedroom where you had, could you have someone come and stay with you for a couple of days? You've got all of these things. Then you go to the local market. You go to just the supermarket, which, the Aldi or the, there's so many of them in Portugal, I forget what they're all called, but the Spar, whatever. And you get your groceries. There's local pharmacies, there's local doctors, there's all of the things that you need. And you just have a great time. So David, thank you so much for telling us all about long stays. I think these are an incredible value. And if anyone has any questions about them, we will be launching some long stays in Spain for next winter. They are not going to last long. So once you see them, please jump, jump, jump. We've got some incredible space there. We do have another question, which is, what time of year is beach weather in Portugal?
So, as I said, today there were people lying on the beach because it was really sunny. But I would say, if you really want to have a guarantee, starting April all the way to October, that's really like a beach weather in that part of Portugal, the very southern tip of Portugal. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I think you have to really think about what you want to do. Are you going to lie on the beach every day? Because if you are, then going during the hot weather is great. But that hot weather isn't ideal for travel. It isn't ideal for touring around and going for walks and going for hikes and doing all of those kinds of things. So really think about what kind of traveler you are, what kind of pace you want for your holiday, and what kind of things you like to do. I know if it was 30 degrees out, I wouldn't be going for hikes up, along the coast. And the coast is amazing in the south of Portugal. There are caves, there's blue water, there's beautiful landscapes. The sun is setting over the ocean. Like, it is just an absolutely magical place. And so having the opportunity to really get out and explore, if you're a walker and active, is great. And so think about that as you're considering it. But thank you, David, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Appreciate your ongoing partnership. And we hope you have a great rest of your stay in Portugal. Take care, everyone, and thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.